Did the fate of an entire kingdom turn on the swing of a sword, or the cold calculation of a master strategist? In the year 1016, England was a nation on its knees. Decades of Viking raids and the weak rule of King Æthelred the Unready had left the country fractured and vulnerable. Out of this chaos, two titanic figures rose to claim the ultimate prize, the English crown. On one side, the native warrior prince, Edmund Ironside, Æthelred's son, a man whose courage was forged in the fire of resistance. On the other, the ambitious Danish invader, Cnut the Great, a conqueror with a vision. This wasn't just a war for land. It was a clash of leadership, a battle of wills that would decide the destiny of England for a generation. Who had the superior strategy? Let's find out. In the 11th century, a king wasn't just a figurehead. He was his army's greatest weapon. His character, his reputation, his very presence on the battlefield could rally armies and sway the loyalty of powerful nobles. The duel between Edmund and Cnut was a perfect contrast of leadership styles, the heroic warrior versus the calculating general. Let's start with Edmund Ironside. His name alone tells you everything you need to know. He was called Ironside for his incredible valor, a direct response to his father's failures. Edmund was a hands-on commander. He didn't direct the battle from a safe distance. He fought in the front lines, shoulder to shoulder with his men, inspiring them with his own bravery. At the final, decisive Battle of Assandun, even after being betrayed, he charged headfirst into the enemy, cutting down Danes left and right. He was also politically bold. In 1015, he defied his own father, King Æthelred, by marrying the widow of a powerful nobleman to secure crucial support in the Midlands. This was a man who knew how to build a power base. Time and again, even after suffering defeats, Edmund managed to raise new armies from a weary population. That's the mark of a truly inspirational leader, a man who could command loyalty when the kingdom itself was falling apart. He was the classic Anglo-Saxon warrior king, leading from the front and rallying his people through sheer force of will. Now, let's look at his rival, Cnut the Great. Cnut was a different breed of leader entirely. He was less of a warrior and more of a grand strategist. He understood that conquering England wasn't just about winning battles. It was about systematically crushing his enemy's ability to fight back. His invasion in 1015 was a masterclass in logistics. He arrived with a massive fleet of 200 longships, carrying an army of around 10,000 elite mercenaries from across the Viking world. The ships themselves were a form of psychological warfare, their prows gilded and carved with terrifying figures of lions and dragons, projecting an aura of absolute invincibility. Cnut was also a ruthless politician. After marching north, he forced the submission of the powerful Earl of Northumbria, a man named Uhtred. Cnut accepted his surrender, and then promptly had him assassinated. He immediately replaced Uhtred with his own loyal Norwegian ally, Eiríkur Hákonarson. In one move, he neutralized a threat, secured England's entire northern flank, and ensured the region would stay quiet. While he might not have fought in the shield wall like Edmund, Cnut commanded respect through his imposing presence. The sagas describe him as immensely tall and strong, with keen eyes and a handsome face, the very image of a great king. Cnut's leadership was built on meticulous planning, strategic patience, and a brutal pragmatism that combined military force with political cunning. The stage was now set for one of the most intense and fast-paced campaigns in English history. In 1016, war engulfed the country. Edmund, now king after his father's death, launched a desperate, last-ditch defense of his homeland. His strategy was one of constant movement and lightning-fast reactions. He fought Cnut to a standstill at Penselwood and Schurston. He then marched his army with incredible speed to London, breaking the Danish siege of the loyal city. He followed that up with a victory at Brentford, and when Cnut besieged London a second time, Edmund raced back and relieved the city again. His energy was astounding. He then seized the initiative, chasing the Danish army into Kent and defeating them at Otford. Edmund's campaign was a whirlwind of resilience, but it was fundamentally reactive. He was always responding to Cnut's moves, which meant the Danish king held the overall strategic advantage. Cnut, on the other hand, was playing a completely different game. His campaign was a methodical conquest. Starting from his beachhead in the south, he didn't just raid, he conquered. He marched through Wessex and then launched a bold midwinter attack north into Mercia, before securing Northumbria. But Cnut's greatest weapon wasn't his army. It was his ability to exploit English divisions. He won over a key English traitor, the treacherous Edric Streona, the powerful ealdorman of Mercia. When Edric defected to Cnut, he took the entire resources and manpower of the English Midlands with him. By patiently conquering region after region and turning English lords against their king, Cnut was systematically isolating Edmund, strangling his support until only one final bloody confrontation remained. That confrontation came on October 18, 1016, at the Battle of Assandun. This was the climax, the final showdown where everything was on the line. The two leaders' styles were on full display. Edmund, true to form, arranged his army and plunged into the front ranks to inspire his men. Cnut, the strategist, commanded his forces from the rear, observing the flow of battle and waiting for his moment. And that moment came, delivered by betrayal. As the battle raged, Edric Streona, the same Mercian ealdorman who had recently rejoined the English, revealed his true colors. In the heat of the fight, he and his men suddenly turned and fled the field. Some sources even claim he shouted to his men to run, suggesting a prearranged plot with the Danes. This act of treachery tore a gaping hole in the English lines. The Danes poured through the gap, and the English formation collapsed. The fighting was horrific. One bishop, who was on the battlefield praying for Edmund's army, was captured by Cnut's men, who first hacked off his hand for a ring and then cut his body to pieces. In the face of this disaster, Edmund's personal courage was simply not enough. He fought on like a lion, but the battle was lost. His army was shattered. The Danish victory was absolute. The aftermath was swift and decisive. A defeated Edmund was forced to negotiate a treaty with Cnut. They agreed to divide the kingdom. Edmund would keep his traditional southern heartland of Wessex and the city of London. Cnut would take the vast territories of Mercia and Northumbria. But there was a crucial clause in the treaty. Whichever king died first, the survivor would inherit the entire kingdom. Just a few weeks later, on November 30th, 1016, Edmund Ironside died. We don't know for sure if it was from wounds, illness, or something more sinister. But with his rival gone, Cnut the Great became the undisputed king of all England. So, who was the better leader? Edmund's heroic resistance and incredible ability to inspire his men almost saved England. His bravery earned him the name Ironside for a reason. But in the end, valor alone wasn't enough. He was outmaneuvered by a superior grand strategy. Cnut's victory was a triumph of patience, planning, and ruthless political skill. He had a long-term plan and the resources to see it through, and he masterfully exploited the divisions within the English kingdom, using betrayal as his ultimate weapon. The Battle of Assandun wasn't just a victory for the Danish army. It was the victory of a comprehensive strategy over a valiant but flawed defense. Cnut's conquest fundamentally changed the course of English history, bringing the Anglo-Saxon age to a close and ushering in an era of Scandinavian rule. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think? Could Edmund have won if he hadn't been betrayed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and subscribe for more epic stories from history. We'll see you in the next one. The visuals within this presentation are crafted to enrich your understanding, serving as artistic interpretations and contextual aids rather than direct factual representations. Their purpose is to illuminate the narrative and deepen your engagement with the historical backdrop. Join our growing community of history enthusiasts. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support keeps history alive.